Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, colleagues, and friends. I'm really honored to be on this panel, representing our country, our institution, and really thankful for ADFIAP giving us the opportunity to share our experience as a DFI and a sole policy bank in Mongolia, what we've experienced in the micro, small, and medium enterprises, and specifically its role as an access to finance. As we all know, micro to small and medium enterprises, they play an important role in the most countries, particularly in a country like Mongolia, which is a developing country. SMEs are closely linked with economic growth, its crucial role for job creation, and specifically in low-income countries. However, micro and small medium enterprises are financially more constrained compared to large enterprises and less likely to have a proper access to finance. So in the presentation, I'll be covering four sections. First of all, I would like to share a little bit of micro and small medium enterprises, the current development in Mongolia. So in Mongolia, we have this so-called SME programs that is currently being implemented, which is a medium-term program that covers the overall development of the country. So Mongolia had a SME development fund since 2006, which is the main mandate is to finance small and medium enterprises in Mongolia. And there is a specific legislation on the development of SMEs, which is approved in 2007, which later got amended in 2019. And on top of that, we have this another institution called Credit Guarantee Fund, which is established in order to enhance this access of financing for micro to small and medium enterprises. So according to the law, how we define micro and small medium enterprises in Mongolia is a little bit different from the international practices. So in the law, it states that micro enterprise in Mongolia is defined as a company with no more than 10 employees with the annual income of not more than $80,000. And then for a small enterprise, it's a company with no more than 50 employees, which has an annual income of up to $300,000 a year. And for a medium enterprise, it is a bit bigger, where it has employees not more than 200 employees, and with an annual income of not more than $750,000, which is compared to the international practice quite a low number. But for a small economy like Mongolia, this is the actual figures we use currently in the market. So in Mongolia, SMEs make more than 95% of the all enterprises. And within this 95% enterprises, 3/4 of them are basically micro enterprises. While we face many obstacles in the micro and SME enterprises, and currently in order to fully unlock their full potential, the first and foremost constraint they face is actually the topic of this session, which is the lack of access to finance. And the research showed that only 10% of the enterprises regularly have a formal access of finance in a timely manner. So in terms of the financial access which we have currently in the local market, so there are a few ways that micro and small medium enterprises can find financing source. The most common way are the local commercial banks, which finance most of the small to medium enterprises. But one thing about this financing is, as we all know, commercial banks have a very strict requirements and the terms that they offer this financing, which are not that favorable in terms of the enterprises. So alternatively, what they can do is, there is this, as I've said, a so-called SME development fund in place, which can issue financing source in a more favorable term, but the financings are very limited. They have a cap, maximum size of financing limit. As I've said, the third source will be the credit guarantee fund, which will help them to reduce the credit risk. So as a DFI in Mongolia, how we support the small and medium enterprises is, first of all, we take an on-lending approach through the commercial banks in Mongolia so that we can decrease the financing terms in favor towards the enterprises or the end borrowers. And secondly, we also take approach on lending through the SME Development Fund in order to increase their capacity of financing. But when we do this on lending financing, we only specifically finance for certain sectors. So it's limited by sectors. And on top of that, as we all know, specific financing forms such as leasing or factoring services can further decrease the financial constraints for the micro to medium enterprises. So we do have a subsidiary company called DBM Leasing, which does this kind of services towards this micro and small enterprises. So on the next slide, we just wanted to show you from the bank-wise how we supported the SME sector. So since its inception in 2012, we've been doing a lot of programs in the SME sector, which was all done through this on-lending structures. And basically, if you wrap up these numbers, we are a sector-based financing institution. And during this past decade, we have financed more than 200, 500 projects, and the total amount of financing we've issued to this enterprises are more than $800 million. And in my last slide, I just wanted to share some ideas that what can be done further increase the opportunities of accessing regular and sustainable financing for the micro and small enterprises. So first of all, in Mongolia, I think the first thing we need to do is adopt and implement the regulation properly. And secondly, in order to further expand the businesses of the SMEs, they would need to become more international. So in Mongolia, as you know, we are very rich in livestock. So a lot of sectors we can support in this end is very much based on livestock. So we have cashmere experts, meat processing, dairy products, and leather processing. This kind of small and medium enterprises can be internationalized. And so by doing so, I think the access to finance for SMEs can further improve in the local market in Mongolia. Thank you for your attention, and that ends my presentation. Thank you.